Nita, your favorite diva, and I'm back. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Let the diva know you stopped by. Make sure you subscribe if you like the vibe. If this is your first time here, welcome and welcome back, Diva Squad. So I give it 3 out of 5 stars. It knew what it was, and it delivered just that. I'm doing a trailer reaction.
Here on Nita the Divas channel.
Hey y'all, what is going on? Yes, y'all, we are back for forever. This is Nita, your favorite diva, and I'm back with my ladies, Muchilla from Muchilla Reviews,
Hey,
Tamika
y'all.
from Tamika's Den, and Ginger Snaps Inga 71. Hey everybody. So, yes, y'all, when y'all come into the building, y'all like up the live. Y'all know how we do. Like up the live, give some comments, say hello to the people in the chat, throw some hammers down for the hammer. You know what I'm saying?
Put the lips up for Nita and put the couch up for Tamika and put the flames up for my girl Inga.
Absolutely.
That's what y'all need to do.
Yes, absolutely. And tell them what else to do, Moochie.
Put us up in that algorithm. Ew.
Ew. Okay. So we are here. We are back to discuss one of my favorite episodes. This is The Vineyard. And then we have The Honeymoon after that. And baby, when I tell you, hands down, these were the best 2 episodes. That was my thoughts on it. Really strong stuff in the middle here. So just want to go around and get everybody's opinions on episodes 5 and 6. We're almost at the home stretch, y'all. So y'all let me know what you think, Moochie, since you're not on mute.
Oh, this episode was good because we got like the results of what's gonna happen after the prom, how we gonna see them interact. Are they not gonna talk anymore? And is he gonna be a suck and go back, or is it gonna be a right reason for him to go back? So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that episode.
Yeah,
I enjoyed both episodes, but I'll wait till you get to the next one.
yeah. This one gave me the most laughs. Like I really had a good time with this one. Tamika, what you think about episode 5?
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I don't remember everything that happened in episode 5. That's when we went to the vineyard, right? When she was looking at him. Yeah, I thought that was cute. That was cute. I liked it.
Yeah,
I was like, girl, you on the hunt now, huh?
Right. She knew she messed up in a major way. So I totally get it and totally understand. Inga, your thoughts on episodes 5 or 6, wherever you want to go?
Oh, yeah, I like these episodes. Yeah, just as when she was doing too much. She was doing the most, you know, riding her bicycle from here to Alaska to try to go find him, and yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot.
It was a lot. Hey, Candy Love, how you doing, boo? All right, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into it, and I got one small little clip that I want to play. We'll get into it once we get there. It'll be shortly, but let's go ahead and start talking forever. Episode 5, The Vineyard. Now, this is the summer of 2018. This is 3 months after the prom, so she has been blocked for 3 months. Okay, so she's on Operation Justin, get Justin back. Okay, so she goes and she's trying to figure out, Chloe, she was able to get this opportunity to go because Chloe's aunt is down there for the summertime as well. So they go down there, they try to figure out, they know where the tourists be at, the black tourists, like where everybody go. They were successful in finding, like running into them. However, minus Justin. So she saw Jaden first, and then she saw that mama, and that mama was not enthused. She looked like Huzzy, yeah, heifer. I remember I used to be like that when that little girl broke my son's heart. I started immediately calling her a heifer. So I so related to that. And I was just like, at first she was like everything. She was like so cool and so everything. And then next thing you know, girl, that heifer. So yeah. How y'all feel about Dawn's reaction to seeing
Keisha.
I'm right there with her.
It was understandable. I mean, you know, she like, my boy over here still broken hearted, hiding in the room, not even enjoying his damn summer. Like, what you doing here? How you got here? Who you here with? Why are you here, girl? Why are you here?
All right.
I understood. I felt her.
Right. I was like, we right here. We right here. Inga? Any thoughts?
Well, I told y'all that I have been Dawn. That's Justin's mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I have been her. And I probably would have said, fuck that bitch. Don't be talking to her no more. Because I have said that. So that's why I'm saying, excuse me. Y'all can bleep it out or whatever. But I have said that, you know. But I learned my lesson now. I mind my business. And even though I sit back and see stuff I don't like, I just said, hey, I just stay out of it now. But I definitely was feeling like how Dawn felt. Like, what you doing here? You know?
Exactly. Like she didn't even hide it. She didn't even hide. You know how you try to, you know, make the best of things, and it was just like a.
I would.
Did y'all think that the what's the girl, the white girl named Chloe or something?
Chloe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did y'all think her aunt was a little cray a little bit? She was a little.
Girl, she probably a rich white woman walking around.
Yeah.
On her what you call them things?
She just oblivious to what's going on.
Chilling.
Yeah.
She just be chilling. All right, y'all. Come on, break this scene down. I want to hear from Inga on this one because this whole thing, I have this communication that's kind of like, you know, it just be like you just can't, like y'all just keep missing each other, like y'all just can't keep. Because Moochie, she seems like her and TJ, they're really good, and I know that you
had our moments though. Trust and believe.
Right. I know everybody can relate.
I mind my business when it comes to. Well, my son is married now, so I stay out of it.
Yeah.
I try to stay out of it. You
know.
How you feel about this miscommunication? Like she's trying, like she wants to tell him that she saw Keisha, but the way he kind of reacted to her, it kind of turned her. It made her scared. One, so she was like he already in a bad mood, so I don't want to make it worse. But he was like almost chopping her head off. I was just like,
no, I understand. I go through that now, especially dealing with a son who deals with some mental health issues. And when they go dark, it's not good. You know what I'm saying? When it's bad, it's bad. Mm-hmm. And so I had to just walk away because the more you keep on trying to tell me what's wrong, what's going on, and what's happening, and the more they get more angrier. And the next thing you know, you end up in an argument. You know what I'm saying? So I just, just best thing to do is let him be for a few minutes until he kind of get himself together.
Yeah.
That.
Moochie, I know you can relate. I know it ain't all roses over there.
It's not. Like I said, I had a couple of choice words for some of these girls too, so I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, the thing you try not to say is "I told you so," because that's the one they can't.
And I have done that, and they say, you know, it turned into they don't like that. They don't like that. So yeah. I say, well, I tried to tell you, but you ain't want to listen.
You ain't want to listen, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, come on.
Oh, they hate that mess. They hate it.
Mm-hmm.
They hate it so much. Tamika, have you had your moments where you just had to kind of disengage or just
listen.
missing the boat?
Yeah, me and my son, sometimes my aunt say we argue like we husband and wife. We, you know, I get on his nerves, he get on my nerves, and then we have our times where we chilling, we hanging, everything is good. I just feel like, you know, she's trying to connect to him. If I'm not mistaken, because I didn't get to rewatch it, y'all. I'm sorry, I wasn't feeling well. I'm trying to remember. I think this was when she actually was trying to connect with him. Like, oh, she was asking him why he wasn't outside, why he wasn't downstairs, and all of that. And then she tried to compliment him about the music, and she was like, "Oh, you did this song," but then once he said it was somebody else's beat, she was just like, "Oh no, okay, then it's not yours," and that kind of turned him off. And then he went inward.
Yeah, you don't understand about how they sampling music and all that. So they couldn't connect.
So it was like they was about to connect, but then it went the opposite way, and he started giving her attitude. You know, that's how it be. You know, so she just was over it. Like, I can't seem to win with you, no matter what I do or say.
Right.
But Tamika, I feel like that maybe the father should have been talking to him and not the mother.
Yes, it seems like he have a different way.
More, you know, and he listens a little bit better than the mother did.
Yeah,
right. And so as we segue into the whole conversation where she reveals to Eric that Keisha is on the island and she wasn't able to give Justin the news, and you know, he kind of he ribbed her a little bit about it, like, dang man, like I gotta do everything. So he was like, she has to know. I mean, he has to know. So he wanted to tell him. He broke it down he was like, because we know the communication is a little iffy. It's a little shysty. So Eric was the perfect person to have this conversation with him. And so, you know, he always knows how to make her feel better. Like, I just love their relationship.
Because he was trying to get him something.
Right.
He was like, I need vacation, Dawn.
Right. He was like, what's wrong? What's going on?
Exactly. So, like I said, a round of applause for our resident father. Like, that's the best father I ever seen on TV. So I'm gonna go ahead and give him his flowers. Give him his flowers. So so we had a conversation. Child, when he said we needed to talk, he was like this. He was like, you and mom getting a divorce? I was like, girl?
You like what?
Like, no, the mother, the best thing ever happened to me.
Right.
I loved it. If we were to get a divorce, it was her divorce, me. Okay. So let's get that straight.
Okay.
I like the fact that he said that.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. The father needed to have this conversation with the mother, because it worked out better with the father.
Exactly.
You know, they both playing basketball, and it was just different.
Yeah. And oh my God, the speech that he gave him when he was talking about the pain, and he's like, it's too much. Her love hurts. And he was like, you found a boundary. Good. You're supposed to, he said, don't hide from it. He said, you know, learn how to work around the boundary. You know, you found something inside of you that you want to protect. So you have to start putting boundaries. And, you know, a lot of times I don't think that we even set our children up to know what boundaries are, because, you know, I'm the mother, I'm the father, you do what I say. You know what I'm saying? We kind of foster that environment, and we don't really give our children chances to really say no, or say, you know, you hurt me, or you did something to me, and stuff like that. So I just thought it was a good talk. And he was just like, as a man, you got to go through the fire to get on the other side. That's how you prove who you are. So you can't just hide and cower. But, you know, he was like, go through. And as a man, like, nobody can, like, a woman is not going to be able to communicate to a teenage boy. So it was perfect for Eric to have this conversation with him.
Well, also, the thing is, no manual for being a parent. Exactly. So all four of us going to probably do something different, but we all got the same intention, because we all got the love for our boys. Right. But we all going to probably handle it in a different way. But it's not a good or bad thing. I mean, unless it's something toxic or something like that. But I mean, it's there's no. Look, I was learning on the fly. I'm still learning. Okay, so I'm still. There's no ending to it. Mm-hmm. But there's no cutoff to being a parent. So anybody say, "Well, I'm done when they certain age," they a lie. No, I don't know about their kids, but mine it ain't no cutoff. It's still.
You can't do that.
Yeah, it's still ongoing.
It's no cutoff. You don't stop being a mom or a dad.
I mean, not in this day and time. My parents have been cut me off back when I was probably a teenager, and I was on my own since then because they come from a different era. But this day and time, no. I mean, if your children are under 35, you still raising them. You still, helping them.
Yeah,
if they're under that age. Yeah. So
I seen somebody post how they was celebrating their last child support payment. Mother, father, you still a parent,
right?
Like what? Like you still a parent. You don't stop being
a party because your last child.
I just don't understand. Like you don't start. That's the beginning. Sometimes with certain things where am I overstepping my bounds because that now they're drawing boundaries,
right?
And am I overstepping my bounds by saying too much? So
right.
Like, you don't stop being a parent. Not
Absolutely. I wanted to see what y'all had to say about RC's comment. Said, I wanted the father to tell him to cut his losses. Wish he would have told him. Wish he wouldn't have told him that she was around. Okay. How do you feel about that?
Well, because he didn't want to lie to him because maybe he might end up bumping into her. So
yeah.
He wanted to prepare him. That's what I understand what RC's saying, but I think he just wanted to let me give you a soft blow, and
Yeah, because his whole thing was he have to learn, he have to go through things. He's gonna have hurt, he's gonna have disappointment. That's a part of life. And so I got the lesson he was trying to teach him, and then I agree with Inga. If he would have ended up bumping into her and then knew that they all knew that she was there and didn't say nothing, then he would have been mad about that. So he's coming to him with just full disclosure, open up. This is your choice. You make the choice what you want to do with this information that I'm giving you now.
Exactly.
So I like that.
Hey, Miss AKA, thanks for coming through. Don't forget to hit the like button. Get some rest, boo.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. All right, y'all. For me, let me see. What am I saying? For me, I don't think that he gave him. I don't think he gave him advice either way. I think he was full disclosure. I'm just letting you know you got the information. Do with it what you will. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's that's what that was. So, but I love that he said you can't hide though. But wait a minute,
even if he would have told him,
didn't he say hear her out? I'm sorry. Didn't he say hear her out?
I
don't remember if he said that, but
I'm not too sure, but I think he was basically saying, like, you know what I mean? Give yourself a chance if you do want to hear what she got to say. Like, he left it up to him. And I don't really think, like Nita was saying, he kind of gave an opinion one way or other. Even if he would have said, cut your losses, that probably would have pushed him to her even faster. He wasn't necessarily going to do exactly what his father said. You could say that, but that don't mean he going to follow that.
Exactly. RC, you know it's just the opposite.
Yeah, they do the opposite.
You don't do. They'll be together like magnets.
Right. Exactly.
The more you try to tell them don't be together, the more that they'll be together. Yeah,
absolutely. It's us against the world. You know that bullshit. I hate that.
It took about 5 buses to get to this man, this kid.
Child, she was hunting him down, baby.
Right.
And rode that bicycle.
Yes. I said,
and then it was funny too how they both kind of saw somebody that looked similar and thought it was them, but then it wasn't. I've had that happen to me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the girl and the girl right here. Yeah, right.
Yep, they both.
I don't go to bus and a train to go see a dude. When I was, I ain't gonna act like as a teenager. I ain't do that. I done been right on the train and the bus.
I haven't traveled as far as her, but I've done that too.
Not as far as her. No, that's crazy. No, that is far as her. I'm talking about just going through the train and go. Yeah.
Right.
Because she was on the opposite side of the island. She was on the part where the white people be.
Right. Absolutely. Child, this took
this is the party me and Nucci be at right here.
This took me clean out, y'all. This was so funny. I want to watch it because, baby, when I tell you Dawn was twerking and busting it down, I said,
girl, they was having a good time.
Yeah.
Oh Oh my
Pop
god.
pass. I like the uncle too.
Yes, love the uncle. And I thought that it was smart to kind of do the good cop bad cop, because she always feels like, I thought she would take that because he was saying the things that, like she be wanting to say, but I was like, I would have let him took that hit for me, like, you know what I'm saying? Because it always feel like to me she's always the bad guy almost in the story. So like I just would have let him took the hit on that one. So
I used to be the bad guy in the story. I'd be like, say good night to the bad guy. I'm not your friend. That's right. I'm not your friend.
Exactly.
I know one thing. These black folks got some money and they living nice. Okay, they got a nice house.
I love seeing that on TV, on our TV screen.
Yes.
Oh, come on, I had it right.
Yes,
oh my God.
I
hope we don't get caught, y'all, because I forgot it had the damn music on there. I was like, shit.
Yeah.
You
just edit it out and you can put it back in and just. I hope.
Okay.
We'll take out the music.
Y'all, I'm telling you,
I feel like
laughed. I said,
those gotta have a good time too. It can't always be about the kids having a good time. Like we supposed to go to work and pay bills and that's it. No, we gotta have a good time too.
Yeah. Grown folks fun. Yes.
Right.
Child, F them kids. But I love that. That was the scene for me. And that girl, Shannon, she is something else. We're gonna get there. But she is
she was.
You saw her finish the tequila, right?
She wanted.
Yeah, I love seeing that part with them.
I said she looked like she ain't no stranger to it either.
No, that's somebody that should be like, go fix your mother a drink.
Yeah, but we used to like
you did it before. Look and do it like you did it before.
Don't be,
shy.
We used to sneak.
That's horrible. But I'm guilty of it.
No, she did it right in front of their face. So I'm like, okay, maybe they let her drink in front of them or something. We couldn't do that right now. Yeah.
And he was like, did you just say that? I was like, okay.
He said she finished my drink before. Didn't he say something like that?
Yes, girl. She's a mess. We're going to get into it. We're going to get there. And this whole thing, like I said, I felt like, he was trying to say what Dawn is really, she's one of those, bougie Black women who, pushes her son, wants the best for her son, sets her son up for success, expects nothing less. And he called her, she's one of those, everything right is white. So he kind of he feels a way because he's not around Black kids like that. He was like, let him go to a Black HBCU at least for 2 years so he can get to know himself and stop being around the white people. How do you feel about the conversation?
I agree with him.
I totally agree.
Absolutely.
You gotta learn how to work in both worlds.
And even if you do send your kids,
learn how you have to be able to code switch, not give up your heritage, not give up what's about you, but you let them know who you are, but you articulate yourself.
Yeah, even if you do send them to a white school, because might be a better education for them and all that, but you still have to make sure they're doing activities where they're around Black people. Just have stuff going on out, away from the school. They're still around their heritage. So
absolute girl child. He was taking shots, taking digs at his basketball skills. I saw that little video.
I agree with him.
I said, oh, he taking the shots. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop. No, I'm not. I like this character.
Yeah, I did too.
I really did, because sometimes somebody needs to tell you that truth. You know what I'm saying, right? Like, we're not gonna be sitting around here with all these
about going to the NBA and all this kind of stuff. Like, come on, you ain't that good. Exactly. You gotta be realistic with these kids with these sports. Well, I don't care what it is. You gotta be realistic.
Right. And Tamika, any thoughts?
Yeah, I liked everything about this. First of all, the party scene that made me think about when I was a kid. My mom was always the one that was having the parties, and we would be happy because we'd be like, "Yeah, they busy. That means we could be over here and have our fun." And then me having parties when my son was younger. And as far as this part, I had a girlfriend that kind of like her son went to a certain school. He didn't even know how to take the bus and the train. And one time, I forgot what happened, but he was having a hard time. Like, she just wanted him to be able to get in a cab, and that's when it really hit her. Like, Dad, when we were younger, we would travel on our own. He was much more sheltered than us. We was all over the place. We knew how to get from here to there, whether it was walking train, but he didn't know, and he was like just stuck there. And she was like, "Nah, I gotta definitely start having him like be in the mix." And then even when it came to interacting with certain people, he didn't know how to do it. Whereas with my son, I had him in so much different stuff when he was younger. And then he kind of had his god brothers, even though he's the only child for me, that he was able to kind of be in the mix with them. And so I can I understood and agreed with a lot of what he was saying, because you got to kind of know how to play both sides. So
remember, Justin didn't know how to
remember when he got on the bus, he didn't know where he was going.
Yeah, because she was keeping him so sheltered. She was so scared that he would get shot out of a car or something. And I understand that part. That is a fear, a real fear. But you still got to teach them how to maneuver.
Survival skills, what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so that's why when the father, Eric, always would like, he'll jump in like, let him grow up. Let him grow up. You know what I'm saying? Like, he will always just try to jump in there. And RC did agree with us and said, yeah, I had somebody tell me to cut my losses, and did I? No. So he said that's a good point.
Right.
I had they used, when I was a bus driver, you see a lot of people in August showing their kids how to get to and from school. And that was a thing that I seen a lot, where if in the morning where they be like, "Oh, you gonna be that's gonna be your driver every morning." So I stuff like that, I know. Like you showing your kids how to get to the subway.
Yeah, it's good to teach them, because you never know what situation could come up where
the earlier they know, the better.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. I agree. All right.
Lord have mercy.
I said, now listen.
It wasn't blood related though, right?
No, they weren't. They were.
But
no, they said they was like cousins. They grew up together.
Right. We knew that Shannon was going to be a bit much. Okay, we already knew. We got a little glimpse of it, and here it is, full blown.
She said, "I want you to be my first."
Right. But I almost was like, when I was watching it, I was like, yeah, that's the move. That's the move. Do that. Get your experiences in, get your things in, do your things. The best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, do your thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's what
I felt like that's what his mother wanted to do.
That's what the father and the mother wanted him to do.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I think we're gonna see her again, y'all.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think we're gonna see her in part 2.
I mean, but she was like, "Woo!" You know what I mean? She I'm like, okay.
Yeah, she was very direct. Like, let's get it on. I'm like, yeah, nah, that's a little too messy for me. That's a little too close to home.
I know. I think that's probably why he wasn't really feeling it like that.
Right. Yeah. And then
I am not trying to piss my mother off, because that's the one that's gonna get in his tail.
Right. That part.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
I was like, okay. I was like, that might be the move. But seeing the story play out, I'm glad that Keisha and Justin had their first experience with each other, and they were both in love with each other. So I was like, at first I was like, yeah, do that. Like, you can get over her. But I was just like, I just love the way it played out the other way. So yeah. So he got saved by his brother. As soon as they started kissing or whatever, his brother came and messed up the party.
Yeah.
So then they went out, and she ended up telling them that, the girlfriend is still blocked. The reason why she knows is because their parents, their mothers gossip all the time. So she encouraged him. If she said if she reached out to you or like unblock her, see if you. I didn't know you could leave a voicemail, but I'm like, yeah. I mean, when you block somebody, they go straight to voicemail. So I guess you could leave a voicemail. But he unblocks her. He cries listening to all these messages. She's talking to him just like she would be talking to him every day. And I thought it was so sweet. He's crying, listening. He falls asleep listening to all the messages. Child, I was like, this is too cute. This is too cute. But I don't know how you feel about it, Inga. What you thought?
Excuse me. No, it is cute. I mean, Keisha knew she messed up. So she kept leaving a message every day. I guess she figured at some point he would unblock her and he would hear. So he just kept leaving a bunch of messages. She kept leaving a bunch of messages every single day. And I don't know if that helped because he looked now depressed again. So I don't know.
No, I thought those was tears of joy or something. I don't know. I thought he was like,
because when him and what's the kissing cousin name?
Shannon.
Yeah, when him and Shannon was talking, she said to him what she usually does, and that's when she told him the feature. Because I said, "Child, I didn't know about this, and we didn't have this option back in the day, so it would have just been that person would have just been gone." But unless they showed up at the door. He said, like, if somebody really wants you, then they would still be calling you and leaving you messages and all of that. So she said, take it off and see if she did. And then that kind of give you your answer and let you know where to go. Because I think she was kind of saying, like, and if she don't, then me and you could get it on and popping, basically. So then once he did it and he's hearing all of this, it's like, okay, she really was still reaching out to me. That's the way I took it.
Right. Yeah.
Back in the day, they used to make mixtapes for you.
Right. They sure did.
Here's a tape I made for you.
It
got all the slow jams on it.
Right.
I thought this part was cute, but I didn't know that about the phone either.
Right. Kira said it was sweet for them, but I hate the iPhone lets block folks leave me messages. Right. Like they block for a reason. Shoot. Reunited and it feels so good, y'all. So he unblocked her, gives her a phone call. They meet up and it is like on and popping. Like they I missed you so much. Like they didn't miss a day. Like everything was just it was cute. It was just cute. It just made me tear up, have a couple little thug tears.
Yeah.
Young love.
That's what it is. Neither one of them knew how to communicate the best way. So it's just they still learning. They just all still learning. But they like 16, 17 years old. So they're not like they grown. It's grown people sometimes don't know how to communicate. So,
exactly.
Yeah, so they officially have their first time. Second.
But the other time they didn't know what was going on.
I don't know what was going on there. Are you in?
That's I'm
gonna keep it PG.
I ain't want to talk about the downtown part.
Right.
Downtown.
It was cute though, y'all. Justin, he just does everything right. Like, you kind of reveal yourself and you just sitting there kind of vulnerable. And, first thing he does is say something so sweet. You're beautiful, like perfect. But I was just like, he's just so sweet.
He's a nice young man. Yep.
Yes. So they get it in. They
and
do a little skinny
girl too. I just think she just had all this. All this is because of her not talking to her mother and all that stuff. It's just communication problem.
Tamika.
Yeah, I thought this was cute. Just the way they ran to each other as soon as they saw each other, jumped off their bikes, and we going over here. This is gonna be the real time. The first time wasn't the real time.
No,
that don't count. Almost doesn't count.
No.
Yeah, I was here for it. Aww.
Yeah, it was cute.
I was like, his mama ain't gonna like this though.
Nah, she not too thrilled about this.
Hey,
She's like, oh boy, here we go again.
the way Eric was clowning her, like give
Yes.
my
Give her a
wife
drink,
wife
okay?
a drink, a glass of wine, please.
Oh, the mother had an attitude. Look at her face.
Mhm.
Yeah, she had a real attitude. The father wasn't even. He was
He
like,
wasn't- he like,
He was
He
rocking
just
out.
laid back and cool. He kind of remind me of my dad.
Right.
because he got to go through it
Like
on his own. He got to go through it on his own. So he kind of just stand out of it. But the mother like had a real attitude.
Mhm.
Girl, yeah, she was
They
hot.
noticed it. All the friends, they all noticed it too.
Right,
Mhm.
right. But yeah,
And
you
say,
know
well,
how-
you want him to be with a black girl, right? So
there you go. All right, y'all. And now the big reveal. Dun, dun,
oh
dun,
yeah, because the
dun.
mama didn't know until yeah, that's right.
Exactly. So this was a hard reveal. And the mother was very concerned.
Yeah.
What you think about the white lady blowing the cover like that?
it just pissed me off.
Yeah, I know.
I think she thought they all knew, and that's what's so crazy about it. Because it's like this was a big thing that it seemed like everybody was talking about. That's the whole reason why she left from the school in the first place. Even though she was being a bit extra, but I don't think she was trying to be malicious. I think she really genuinely was like, "Oh, it's good to see that she's doing good now after everything she went through," and just assumed that they knew about it.
Right. That was crazy. But that mama, she was. Oh wait, that's not right. Is it right? No, that's the next episode. Okay. Sorry, y'all. But yeah, Moochie, you got some thoughts on there? You said she got on your nerves for that.
Yeah, I don't think. I think. What's the mother name again? I forgot.
Dawn.
Dawn. She just was concerned about like now you concerned about how much experience this girl got, and maybe that's why she running circles around my son. See, that's where I'm going with it. So she has a concern for her too, because you remember she knew this girl since she was a little girl.
Right.
So it's not like she sees her as a malicious kid. She sees her as somebody going through it now.
Yeah. Okay, y'all. We about to get to the honeymoon phase. Okay.
Uh-oh.
So this is the next episode 6. That was a cliffhanger for your ass. So let's see. All right. So it starts off great. Another great Black family moment. Surprise! He gets gifted a new
Jeep.
Oh, and his mom is boo-hoo crying because she don't want her baby to grow up. She doesn't want her baby to grow up. That's all I can see. And he was like, "Oh, that. Mom, don't cry.
Yeah.
Because we know what this means. There's a lot of different things that she can't really protect him from when he get in that car and go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard to swallow that pill. So I don't blame her. I would have been crying too. All this stuff. She's trying to warn him. It's not for a lot of people to be in the car. Don't drive fast. Don't drive drunk. She was
be like that when they drive and then be up all night when they going home and all of that.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's nice that they had money to be able to buy him
Yeah, he got a nice car.
Absolutely. And the father was so happy. The brother was happy. Like, it was great. It was a great moment. Yeah, I can't take nothing away from that one. That was great. Love to see it. All right. So now that Jeep ain't free. So now we got to have a conversation about this sex tape. We want to talk to you about Keisha's sex tape. I know I spelled her name wrong. My bad.
They didn't know that he knew.
Right.
They called it some kind of.
They were like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, because men don't like body counts. You know what I'm saying? Like they get a little insecure about, you know, who you had before you. But Justin's not that guy. He hasn't been, you know, kind of tainted like that. Like, so he's just like, nah, like I just try to help her out through it. And he pretty much said that tape is none of your business. I said, well, damn. I said, well, shit. Oh, wait. Oh, pretty girl's here, y'all.
Hey, pretty
Let's
girl.
bring her up to the
Hey.
Sorry for my
Hey, pretty girl.
No problem. No problem. Okay, so we done already got through episode 5. So let me go ahead and pull this down. And we're going to get Pretty Girl's thoughts on episode 5. And I'm going to have her do a couple of the introductions of some of the scenes and breaking them down, and then we're going to give our thoughts. But for now, let's go ahead and let Pretty Girl have the floor.
for episode 5.
Yes, episode 5.
Probably like one of my favorites. I just love seeing just the Black excellence, and just, you know, it's so refreshing to see, you know, our people in this light, you know, just having fun, just living life and living, you know, being free. And I just love the persistency and the dedication of Keisha. She was, I mean, you got to put your ego aside to do the things that she did. Okay.
Yeah.
And thank God she was an athlete, because she was trained to do planes, trains, automobiles to see Justin. I cried during that scene. Like,
Yeah,
my emotions, you know.
me too. We had a couple of thug tears. Oh,
Yeah, I thought I was a thug until I saw this. I was like, oh my God. But I loved it. I just love the dynamic like of the parents, Eric. And maybe it's due to trauma, but I was waiting on Chloe to like not be a good, you know, I mean, I'm just thinking of Chloe, you know, just possibly, I don't want to say snaking her, but Chloe's a ride or die, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but at first I was a little frustrated with Keisha. I'm like, all right, you just got on the island, your friend got you here, like spend some time with your friend real quick, you know, for a day or two, then look for Justin. She was already like, when we getting out of here? Like,
Right. They didn't enjoy themselves for a half a second.
yes.
They wanted to sit there and read books with them, and they like, no, she's like, I'm trying to look for my dude.
Yeah.
This
Yeah. I
book,
mean,
I could read the book later.
yeah, the aunt should have read the room, because 2 teenage girls, they're not trying to do all that. Like, I mean, it's cute.
But Chloe was in on the plan. That was the whole plan of why she was coming in the first place. I mean,
No,
that's
yeah.
right.
Yeah, but still, as a, you know, I'm not sure who paid for the ticket. I'm just saying Chloe may have paid for the ticket and had the whole idea. But, you know, as just a payback of the friendship, I would just say, Keisha, day 1, focus on you and Chloe. And then you got 3 other days to focus on getting your man back.
Right.
But yeah, I loved it. I love the dynamic of Eric, and just he's epitome of a great father, not just a Black father, just a great father. And just how, you know, he's the yin to her yang, you know, she's overprotective, and, you know, but he's stern, but not disrespectful.
Right.
And then she lets him take his place. And I think it's very important, you know, they do have their little spats and disagreements. You know, there's a couple of times where she, you know, was cursing and, you know, under her breath. And I'm sure they have these conversations away from the kids. But I just love that he lets her take the lead. Well, she lets him take the lead in terms of, you know, some of the decisions. And, you know, he doesn't downplay her to the kids. You know, she stated before, you know, she just scared. You know, she understands her. And I just love that dynamic. But yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot, you know.
Yeah, hold on. I'm still going through the slides, so you can kind of go where you want to go. If you want to talk about this scene, how important it was, and just what he was giving him. He was giving him gems, and
yeah, he's always dropping gems, and and you can tell he's been doing this for a long time, you know. But now some of the things are resonating and coming to fruition now that Justin is finding himself in this complex situation called love. You know, even though he has a cute girl, a thirsty girl in front of his face. Is it Shannon? Is the girl who?
Yeah. The kissing cousin.
She was a little too. She was giving more than Keisha a little bit. Like talk about you know the cocaine and the cocaine.
Yes.
But yeah, I love the mom was over there. She was getting her little herbal treatments. They was like F them kids. Like I just love the balance. They work hard all year, and this their time to let down. And I didn't really like. I was torn about how the uncle Charlie was speaking in the situation. Sometimes you do need that refreshing type of perspective, but at the same time, you don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they probably gossip and stuff, but he was just a fun uncle, keeps it real. But
yeah,
it is what it is.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question about that, because I was saying how this, for me, with her and Eric, it always feels like she's the bad guy. But I think the uncle presented a way where she could look like the good guy. And I would have just took that because, I'm always like feeling like the bad guy, the person that's just like overly like, yeah. But I felt like, somebody else saying it, and then maybe, you give a little balance and you try to fall into the good person with the, the soft place to land. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I do like.
We frozen?
Bad cop, and she's able to kind of be the light-hearted person in the conversation, versus her dynamic with Eric and Justin's perspective.
Right.
And he was right. The video was cute, but you're not gonna be shooting threes with LeBron like that. Like, but I do like the fact he questioned him about Howard, and she was so against it, and it's so interesting because Keisha's all for Howard. You could see the two different parallels there. And I do like the fact that he mentioned, like, don't you want to learn about your peoples, because you've been all these white spaces your whole life, and don't you want to, not saying you have to go to an HBCU, but they do offer a different perspective when it comes to educating the kids, because their focus is a little different.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. So so he unblocks her. And he is listening, crying to the messages, falling asleep to the messages.
Yeah, I was
dug tears again. And the meetup, we got all that, and we got the first time again. So the real one,
the real first time, yeah.
So I thought that was cute and everything. And the mama, she was not pleased, and Eric was just teasing her, talking about get my wife some wine, get her a drink, girl, because she's about to blow a gasket over there. But anyway, that's where we and then the reveal of the infamous sex tape that only Justin's parents and Keisha's parents didn't know about, but everybody else knew about it. But those go figure.
Yeah. But that speaks a lot to community, though.
Leave it to this one to spill the bean.
Yep. And how many parents, have you've been watching it? Like, what's going on? Or you just heard about it,
Right.
Yeah. That was awkward. I don't think it was maliciously done. But at the same time, it's like, lady, like, can't be spreading stuff like that. You don't know the dynamic of what's going on. But it's obviously that she's chummy with Justin and everything. Like, I don't know. She wasn't reading the room.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think Inga said she must have thought that everybody knew about it, like it was a thing, like everybody party.
Yeah.
And how did you feel about Justin saying this? None of your business. I was like, oh,
I'm not mad at it. I do love. I don't know. This show allows me to really evenly see the child's perspective, or the kid's perspective, and the parent's perspective. So I'm not mad at it, and I love the fact that he knew about it, and that they're like, oh, and Eric was like, that was your mama's, that was her idea, like.
Right, he totally threw her under the bus.
Yeah, I definitely love that he was like, what do you want me to do with this information? I'm being there for her, is what you raised me to be. And I'm not gonna lie, it was good, a good back and forth. It was giving the Old Housewives of Atlanta. Like I love that. I mean, he had them stuck.
Yeah.
They didn't know what to do.
For sure. Okay, so we are caught up. So sorry that we had to I just want to get her thoughts because I know this is episode 5 is a fan favorite. And so I definitely wanted her to get her thoughts out on how she felt about episode 5. But we're caught up now. And now we're celebrating. I don't even know Keisha mama. What's Keisha mama name? I can't think of her name.
Heck, I don't know her name either.
Shelly.
Okay.
Thank you. So Shelly, y'all, she gets a new job. I'm so happy for her because she out here scratching and surviving good times. What is that husband doing? I mean, that baby daddy doing? Child, what is happening?
He's overseas playing baseball.
He's sending the money.
Exactly.
I guess not.
That ninja only coming home to be in the matching pajamas pictures.
Well, my petty self was thinking, because Keisha always got some fresh little ones on. She got the fresh J's. He probably want her parents making sure his daughter looking good with, buying her shoes and whatever. He probably get a little discount or some free shoes.
Maybe he sends Keisha a little money. That don't have nothing to do with paying the rent and all the other bills.
Definitely not.
Keisha some money, so that she can, have like allowance or something. And she always dressing real cute and got her braids done all the time. So
she get that done for free.
Right.
With the cousin.
That's her like her cousin or something doing.
Yeah, that's trifling.
Yeah. I mean, I think because he's out the country playing baseball or something, so he probably sent some money. But no, it looks like it's we just assuming this. I don't know. They didn't say, but the mother.
But I'll be there for the matching picture.
Right. Of course, he's coming for graduation and prom and stuff like that. They come take the photo op. They do the photo ops. Social media parents, they do that. But as far as all the other, support, it's kind of like,
yeah.
Thank you, Miss Kara. I knew you knew. I think Ingo and Tamika said it. Shelly. Okay, so she had a good job, got a good job. Now, his mama I got more questions, right? I got more questions. There more questions.
Why can't she just mind her business? Now she's getting on my nerves here. It's not her place. It's not your place to call the girl's mother and get involved. This mess. Just stay out of it.
Yeah, but all of those parents knew about it, and everybody left her to fend for herself, and her mom don't know. I get her point because a lot of people don't protect the black girls.
Yeah,
that's true.
And she got put in an awkward position with that boy and got manipulated.
Right there.
I do get your point. But I know that Dawn don't really want her son with this girl. So I think she probably hoping they break up.
But maybe this is also her attempt to, okay, my son's not going to leave her. So let me do what I can to support them into cleaning up the mess. Maybe
that's true. All that's true.
Yeah. I think it was a mixture. I think it went from her being like, oh, hell no, because they just having, finally got this good time together on the vineyard, which she wasn't really here for it. But then it's like, okay, they look happy. Then you get this news. You don't know that he already know, and you don't know the circumstances around it. And then you find out the full circumstance, and you know that he's been trying to help her. But it's like, who else has been helping her? Who's been standing up for her? My mama would absolutely be calling her mama. Okay, say that right now. Oh yeah, we calling.
Yeah,
so,
I respect that.
Yeah, I understood. And I know they mad, like, please leave it alone. No, why she got to call as a child? That's how you gonna feel. But yeah, that was definitely like my best friend's mother would have been calling. My mother would have been calling. I know a couple mamas that was definitely gonna be calling, and they wouldn't even give as much time as what she was giving, because she was already asking for her number previous to this, and they've been working around every which way not to freaking give it.
Right. And I love the conversation that they had, because like even when she went to go check on her, she specifically said, I just did what I would want someone to do, and I apologize if I overstepped. So that was that's the explanation for, you know, trying to be a responsible parent, doing the right thing. Like, yeah, I just really feel like she did the right thing, and I love that she kind of explained herself, and she was there supporting her in the way she needed to be supported too. So as we get there, you see how he's snarling at her, like the look he's giving her, and girl, it's a mess. This communication is just real bad. It's real bad.
And then when he told her, she panicking because now she got to talk to her mother.
And she say, "Why your mother can't just mind her damn business and stay out of it?" So I mean, I understand all of the points everybody's saying. You know what I'm saying? So I do get it.
Yeah, right. It's about her point about community is a big thing. You know, like we said, Shelly is in a whole nother world in terms of these parents in the school, and then you know, it's funny how she's. I mean, not trying to make it a race thing, but it is a race thing. You know, she's a Black parent who obviously don't know nothing about none of this stuff. You know, so she was right. We have to look out for our own. You know, like we have to protect this girl. And she's known, I mean, not consistently, but she's known Keisha since she's been a little girl.
That's true, because that white lady knew, and she was gossiping, going around talking to all the parents, and she didn't never call Shelly and tell her nothing. So
that's why I feel like they have to stick together when it's less of you. You don't, you know.
Yeah, and that's how it was back in the day. Like, you know, we have more of a community.
Absolutely.
We need to get back to that.
Where I used to be outside scared to do stuff because I know my neighbor down the street gonna be like,
right. My neighbor go across the street, all that. Yep.
Smoking cigarettes. Girl, because you know we used to try to do it. When
I skipped school, they'd be like, I saw Inga today at such and such. When she supposed to be in school? Like, you just mind your damn business. You know?
Yo, that is one thing I could not do because my father, he gave me like if you cut class, I'm cutting ass. I just all right, well, I will be going to school.
I love it. And I cut school so many times, but I got caught with you know, at times when a neighbor would run their mouth. So
the good old days, y'all, you know.
Yes.
Okay, y'all. So pretty girl, I'm gonna let you go ahead and break this one down.
Yeah, I didn't like the fact that we friends with old girl now, but I'm like, oh cool. Okay, I'm just let it be. No, time has passed. She was in a new school. It was a little beef, a little jealousy, but you know, show us just a little clip of them kind of, you know, but it's not that big of a friendship like that, so I'm gonna let it go. But he came back into, you know, pick up his girl, and you know, I know he feels guilty, and he's trying to protect her in his way. Right. And that's what's the frustrating part. He's trying to protect her his way. His mom is trying to protect her a different way, and that's where, you know, they differ. But that was a cute little. Every girl wants that experience, and I'm just glad it's not a 27-year-old man picking her up. It's a 17-year-old boy picking her up, because y'all know how it is.
Girl,
I mean,
who, me?
I know how it is. I sure did have the older ones with the car. Why the hell I want a 17-year-old boy?
I feel attacked.
No, we all like older. I'm just saying it's just refreshing to see, you know, they're the same age. There's no like creepism going on a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, but when I was that age, I didn't see it the way you said. We're adults now, so we said
exactly. No,
I was 17. Nah, it wasn't creepy. You know what I'm saying?
No,
right, right.
Yeah, I'm
actually, it was the norm, y'all. I'm just gonna call it a thing.
It was. Yeah, my friend was talking to somebody grown in high school.
Yeah, I mean, it was cute back then as a child, but I'm speaking more of a, you know, parental lens.
Exactly. Okay, so we having this awkward conversation, y'all. This is pretty bad because, you know, she still feels kind of upset because of this whole situation. I don't think she was taking it out on him. I think she was just stressed about the whole situation as a whole. So, Moochie, how you feel about how this conversation went?
She like, I gotta talk to my mother about this. That was her biggest fear. That's why all of this started.
Right.
So she's really going through it right now with her emotions.
Yeah, because she's real big on not disappointing her mom. Seeing her mom work so hard, and she just want to please her mom so bad to the point where she's betraying herself. She is ruining relationships with a great guy. Like, she's just like, if she sat back and really looked at it, she should have been like, this ain't going the way it's supposed to go. Like, I need some help. You know what I'm saying? So it's really frustrating. Tamika, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I get it. This has been the one thing she's been trying to avoid, and I have felt both sides of it. Like, I understand to a point of her not wanting to tell her mother, but then I'm also like, we've been saying for the last 2 weeks that we was up here talking about it. You ain't got to tell your mother even all the details, but you could have been like, nah, ma, I'm not messing with him. Or I wish she would have just felt that comfortability to even go and tell her mother about it from the beginning. But we can definitely understand why she doesn't feel that comfortability, why she doesn't want to tell her. But then it's at a point too where if everybody and their mother's talking about it, I don't know how the hell nobody ain't been walked up on her mama and told her something before now. To be honest, she done got away with this for quite some time, and she just want to be able to get away with it and move on to her next chapter without her mother ever having to find out about it. But now it's like it's no doing that. You gotta go ahead and face the music now.
Yeah,
she got away with it for a long time because she decided to switch schools. But when she switched schools, she kind of like put her mother in a hole because now she lost that scholarship.
Yeah,
she had a scholarship to run track there, so now her mother is
right.
like really had to get down and get busy with making the money and working.
And the mother was out here with these extra jobs, as she had told her from the beginning. The mother could have went up school and put some a foot up somebody's tail up at the school or something. But or open that boy's, she wouldn't have been all up in that boy's face.
Right.
No, she wouldn't even brought him to that practice, to the baseball field that day.
She wouldn't have been talking with him at
that
all.
would have never happened.
Yeah.
Pretty girl.
Yeah, definitely the school failed her. I know some teacher knew about this. They could have put it to the side, but they didn't do what they were supposed to do. But to go a little further, a lot of it is about her mom, but it's also a lot about Keisha too, because she sees her mom's perspective as a mirror, because she even said it herself, if my mom thinks she's perfect, that means I'm perfect. And her mom is probably one of the last people who don't know about this. So she's protected in terms of her image in her mom's eyes, and that's the most important person to her. So she's trying to protect her image, when it comes to her mother.
Right. Okay, let's go to the next. Right. So she had to end up having this conversation. Moochie, can you break this particular scene
I was
down?
glad she had this conversation with her. If it was like the beginning started out kind of rough, but it was like a weight that was lifted off this girl's shoulder, because she had a lot of pressure on her just for her mother. She was so afraid of what her mother was gonna think. And
for good reason though.
Yeah,
did you see how she reacted though? Like, I don't know about that.
She was ready to press charges on dude.
Yeah, not at first.
Mm-mm.
Not at first. This is just the initial reaction. This is just her breaking the news to her, and she pretty much went off on that girl. So just like when Inga said earlier, parenting doesn't come with a manual or a playbook or nothing like this. Like, I think that I would have had a wrong reaction as well.
I know I would have.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I know I would. I ain't even gonna lie.
Right. It's so relatable. It's so relatable. PG.
Yeah, that's our first reaction, to be pissed off. Because one, I don't know you active. Two, I didn't know you was out here being a superstar. Like, what we doing here? So it's a lot to all at once as a parent. Like, that is a lot. I'm literally She paying $700 a month that she don't have for this tuition. Like
Right.
I took a whole second job. Like that is a lot. But yeah, it was a real reaction. So I'm glad that they put it in there. But you know, she had to go to work, go on her break, take some time. Like she had to process it. And you know, she was a teen mom. So this really is affecting her because she's like, it's a cycle, you know. But as she said before, you know, she was scaring her into staying a virgin, you know. Like I said, I think last week, she's not having the same conversations with Keisha as Justice's parents is having with him. You know, she's not learning how to date. She's not learning about boys. She just don't keep them legs closed. Don't do this, don't do that. She's not, you know, you have to expect a 17, 15, 16-year-old girl is going to have these feelings. So you need to kind of, you know, have conversations about how she handles those feelings and those things. But, you know, she's a single parent, so I'm going to cut her some slack because you're doing a lot already. You know, it's hard. It's hard doing a two-person job.
You're a one-man band. You're doing it all. You know?
Yeah.
Do y'all think that they showed an example of how boys are raised and women are, you know, girls are raised and boys are coddled?
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I agree. Because I mean, you see how sheltered he is. Like he can't even ride public transportation. Just totally lost. Totally lost. So you know, on one end, like I think this is the case. Have y'all been adultified as a child, like having to be like older or be more?
Hell yeah!
Right, having to do the things like I was parentified. Like
I was thinking,
swapped. Like
yeah, I didn't have to raise any younger sisters and brothers because I'm the baby, but my sisters are older than me. So they were already gone at the house. I'm pretty much taking care of my damn self like Keisha was. There wasn't nobody home, everybody working, nobody home. I was doing what the hell I wanted to do, and that's why I got into all kind of stuff.
Right.
So
yeah, I was 12, 13, changing my sister's diapers, taking them to daycare. I even had to stress most times because, you know, it was typical, and I developed fast, so I looked older, and I find myself like in certain situations with them, like, all right, let's go to mommy's job, like, cause so these people won't think these my kids.
Yeah,
you know, because you know, they was always attaching me to the hip, like I was 20 years old, a part of the PTA. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not because my mom, maybe it's because I wanted to be involved in my sister's school, and my mom was a single parent, but that's just unfortunately if you the oldest or just even a girl in general, you just raised differently.
Right.
But the issue is Justin is being educated about dating and life. She's not really, you know,
right? Because her mother don't got time.
Yeah,
her mother's in and out. They like two passing ships in the night because she got to make the money.
Yeah.
And
that's why I'm not mad at the mother. It's not like the mother out at the club popping her tail or nothing.
Nah, she working.
She's working. Yeah, she working 2 and 3 jobs to put the food on the table. So I understand. I have sympathy for
and Inga, on top of that, like, you know, she's kind of like in this situation where it's almost like a trauma response. Like, you know how you make the mistake, so you don't want your child to make the mistake, so you're just like over hyper vigilant in a way of how to, you know, push them, make sure you guide them in the right way, you know, because where your mother at? Where your parents at? That's the first thing everybody say when the child.
And it's always where your mother. It's not very. I mean, I'm not saying people don't say where's your father, but most of the time is when something going wrong. Where's that person's mother?
Yeah,
it's always
That's the first thing, and it makes you kind of hyper vigilant. It makes you overcompensate. It makes you just do too much. Same thing. I think that's the same thing that Dawn is struggling with because, you know, your children feel like a representation of you and the care that you put into them and things of that nature. So that's why I love this story so much, y'all. Like I tell you, I be watching this like every day.
No,
I really do.
Yeah. Even Shelly was like, you know, now we look like the family that don't care, you know, because we out here in the dark.
Right.
Yeah, like she ain't got no people to care about her, and she do got family to care about her. It's just that it's a different type of family than Justin's family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tamika, you got some thoughts before we move on to next?
Yeah, I agree. I just think she probably felt like a ton of different emotions. She don't know about this, that this is happening to her child, that her child went through this. She don't know she's active, period. Then she don't know this situation happened. Like, if she knew this eliminates a whole lot of stuff. This has her go up to the school. This has her fight in a different way, because she talks about the fact that she went up to the school and she's like, nobody ain't said nothing about this. And then I'm thinking it's for a whole nother reason. And I'm moving you out of there to another school where I gotta pay. And then I'm smiling in this damn dude face and saying how he gonna be the next LeBron and, have you go to the prom. Like, none of that would have happened. All of that part would have been out of here. I get her having the different emotions. I get her being shocked. I get her being mad. I thought this was very, realistic, even though some of the things she said, like right then and there in the heat of the moment, was probably not the best thing towards Keisha, but I definitely can understand why she's feeling that way. And then that is usually the first thing you think, like, what are people gonna think about me as a mom? They think you ain't got nobody that care about you. It definitely is. Like, I'm always saying to my son, like, I want people to know you was taught this, and this, and this, and that.
Right.
I want them to know where the hell you came from.
Yeah, right. Don't go out here and be embarrassing embarrassing us. Yeah, right.
And she did have people, even though her mother was a hard worker, she also have her grandfather. And just like y'all was mentioning the damn father, I said, where the hell he came from? Where he at? Because I didn't even know it was a father anywhere in the dynamics. I mean, you might not be able to count him that much, but I'm just saying, you wouldn't even know that she has those things. And she's just holding all of this all on her shoulders on her own.
Right.
And that's sad.
It is. It really is. Okay, let's go to the next clip. All right. Pretty girl, you got this one.
This is when after Keisha told him about the mom, just not walking out, she had to go to work. And which is another, just point about her just being alone all night, every night. If Keisha was out there like that, she had plenty of time to do it, But he's trying to, say, hey, like, we're the community, and we need to go check on Keisha. And the mom was like, well, no, this their business. I'm like, all right,
right.
Right.
Dawn, you
now it's their business. Oh, now it's their business. I mean, come on now.
I said,
Dawn. We're not doing that. But I love how Eric allowed him to be a man. Like, you have to let them grow. But I saw both perspectives, because, you going into the hood at night, you're a rich kid, new nice car, they're already not necessarily probably trusting his, his street cred, if you will, or just him being able to how to handle himself. You know what I'm saying? And regardless of you hood or not, the cops just see color. You know what I'm saying? So there was I saw truly both perspectives, but this is another example how Eric was just able to assert himself in the conversation and say, hey, be a man, go after her. Gave him the rules, because I'm sure they rehearsed it plenty of times. Now take everything that I've taught you and apply them, and I'll see you at midnight.
Exactly. Inga, how you feel about this? How this played out, and ultimately him leaving.
Yeah, I mean, I like that the father, had to tell Dawn, like, you go ahead and let him go. Just be home at a certain time. They gave him a curfew, and answer your phone if we call you or text you. But we got to be able to trust you. So, yeah, no, I'm glad the father intervened, because if not, Dawn wouldn't have let him go.
Right.
Nah, she wasn't, and I like the fact that he was like, all right, cool, let him do him, because sometimes you gotta let them go so they can grow up, and know how to handle themselves in different situations.
I mean,
I would have been opposed. And Justin, what you just saying, Moochie, Justin also told, he repeated to the father what he was taught about keeping your ID right, keep your hands on the steering wheel, keep your ID right there so you're not fumbling around. The cops, they don't want you to be fumbling around for nothing,
You better not.
I don't even like the concept of nowhere near me. Just go away, you know.
Yeah. Tamika, I saw your mic off, so go ahead and chime in.
Oh no, I agree with what y'all saying. I listen every time Will Harris is on this daggone screen, baby. He don't miss. I just love the dynamic and how he step in and he's like, go ahead, be with her, take her for a ride. He like, remember all the rules, laying down the rules. He is able to repeat the rules back, and I love the fact that Justin is like, I need her. She don't have nobody. You just finished saying we supposed to be a village now. We can't have it both ways. Which way is it? Okay, mama? Mm-hmm. And I need to be there for her because right now she told her mama like you wanted her to, and she's there all alone. So just how thoughtful he is that he want to go and try to give her support, and he's been supporting her from day one.
Yeah, I love that. I love that for so you got a good kid. You got to realize you got a good kid.
Well. Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Like excellent job.
Yeah, you did an excellent job. Your job well done. Now let him self-actualize. Let him show you that you've done a job well done. You know what I'm saying? Get up off of him a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been opposed of Dawn going with him though, or at least like, how do you guys feel is a missed opportunity of Dawn communicating with Keisha at any point in this? Because that's part of the disconnect too. Like, you kind of in a third party, creating demands and scenarios, but you're not reaching out to her. Maybe she should have had a conversation with Keisha and like, hey Keisha, you're not comfortable, I can come with you to talk to your mom. I could serve as a buffer or something. Like, I don't know. I feel like she could have been more involved.
That could have been an added thing because I know she did mention that she was gonna like reach out to her mom and speak to her. She could have had a separate conversation with Keisha as well.
Yeah, I thought she did kind of serve as a buffer because now she knew about it. But yeah, it would have been nice if she talked to Keisha, but maybe she felt like she didn't want to make her feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. That's
she was already embarrassed that she got to tell that her mother's gonna have to know about this.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But, I mean, you still know I know because I'm making my son tell you instead of me.
Yeah, I understand, but
yeah,
I know but I don't need you to discuss this with you. Your son is handling this.
No, yeah, I get it. No, I get it, girl. It's awkward.
I'm getting in the car. I'm going over there too and talk.
Yeah, we would have had a nice smoke. She a working girl, so she probably couldn't do it.
Right. Now, y'all, this is interesting because, they have this conversation, he's her calm now, like her mom has kind of lost her spot because she lost her cool. And that's kind of temporary. I think it's going to be temporary for her and Keisha. But his mother's fear was a real rational fear that she had. Mm-hmm. And also too, because she done scared that boy so much, he could have lost his cool. Like he looked shook. He looked shook. So when that whole thing happened and the police pulled up behind him, I said, oh my God. I said, you got to be playing. So it was just a mess. And I was like, he fully stopped at the stop sign. He did not do a rolling stop. Like, there's no reason to, do this. But they don't need a reason, right?
Yeah, but they didn't want him.
Right. Luckily, they just went right around him. So,
no, but they do that, though. Sometimes they do it just to scare you. They come up behind you. They're checking your tag. They would do that. And they probably got a call, and then that's why they took off to go to handle something else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Pretty girl.
Yeah, I guess, all the shows we be watching, we have this trauma where like, oh Lord, we gonna have tragedy. That I'm already thinking like, oh, I know this where this gonna go. Like I'm thinking,
like Boys in the Hood, Ricky.
I thought he was gonna have him on that high hood.
That's what I'm saying, like on Boys in the Hood or something.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Stuff like that, right?
Because that's how it is sometimes the innocent one.
They're all in LA, so in this and this was the height of everything was going on during this.
Yeah, I was stressed, and then the fact that he got nervous, even though he knew what to do. Sometimes when the police pick up nerves, they think it's guilt. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, okay, just keep calm. Like, it was stressful, but I'm so glad it didn't turn out the way I was thinking it was.
Yeah.
That's because we see so much, and that's unfortunate that we see not just on television but in real life so much trauma as Black folk that we always thinking that it's like, as soon as we see the cops, as soon as we see something, we thinking there's something about to happen. But it's unfortunate it happens all the time.
I think they was doing that on purpose too. Like, I think that was a specific choice when it comes to the directing, because like little shots they was doing. How they constantly showing the parents say, "Hey, text us when you get home," and they like had him linger in the car after he dropped her off, and then they just like, y'all playing with our emotions, smoking like stuff. But thank God my blood pressure was not risen that day.
Yeah, no, I was worried. No, I definitely was worried. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Child, that baby was shook.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Okay, so we had some time to process, y'all. So she done went to work, went through her shift or whatever. She comes home in the morning. They have this conversation. She thought she was giving her the silent treatment. She still got the steam just coming off the top of the head. Just tread lightly, okay? So she tells her to have a seat. They have a seat. They talk about it. We get into pretty much kind of like a shouting match. I think because she still didn't have all the information. The way Keisha was presenting the information to her is just this. But later on, we got a little bit more clarity as to how this happened. We both did it. I'm the one who had the video and I sent it to him. Had I not did that, that's later. That's in another scene. But in this scene, it was kind of like a little going back and forth match or whatever. And she ends up taking off, running, and getting upset. And because her mom is still kind of like, I don't know the correct way to, I couldn't even tell you either. Like, I would be like off the cuff, or either I would have to be calling the therapist for an emergency session. Like, I just don't know. So it just kind of went left, y'all, and it's just one of those things. I see both points. I see everybody's point, but it's just hard to see. This was one of them hard to see.
Even though she gave him the tape, the audio, whatever it was, this Negro didn't have to send it out there though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he was. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, she might have made a mix up. As a young girl, we do stupid stuff. Try to do something with our boyfriend and all that. And okay, you send him the video or the audio. This nigga, he goes and send it out. That's why I put the blame all on that guy. Because if they had just kept it between the two of them, nobody would have known.
Tamika?
No, I was just gonna say, like, I fully understand her mother feeling like nobody from the school told me, you didn't tell me. Like I said, this boy, now she feels like I'm supposed to be your mother, I'm supposed to protect you. I couldn't protect you at that time because I didn't know what was going on. So now I'm going to step in and I'm going to do what I feel like I'm supposed to do to protect you. Like, this is not okay. Somebody got to pay for this shit, okay? Like, I get her going into mama bear mode and feeling like, I don't know.
You was ready to call the Johnny Cochran phone.
Yeah, she like, I done got on the phone with a lawyer. Yeah. Like, what could be done? This is not right. I absolutely understand her mother feeling like that. But of course, for Keisha, she just wants this to go away. That's it. That's her whole thing. She don't, and then,
I still want to deal with it, right?
Yeah. And her mother still didn't, like Nita said, know the whole other part of it. And so there's still a guilt that she feels within herself.
Okay.
Right.
Pretty girl, did you get your chance?
No, I just want to say, I saw both perspectives. But I do feel, unfortunately, I was more on Keisha's side in terms of like, I don't want to blow this up. Like, if he is truly the next LeBron, this would have been nationwide news, and definitely just the opposite of what she's trying to do already. She's been trying to contain this, or not really contain it, but just shy away from this whole situation, and that would have blew it up. It would have been all on TMZ, everywhere. Like, that wouldn't have been the way to go, even though as a parent, I see it. But it also had me thinking about Justin. I hold them both accountable, but of course more him. And they're both kids, so I'm giving both of them grace. Not so much Justin, but he's still a kid as well. But he's still effed up for what he did. But it also made me think back: was his actions genuine? Because I don't know. Looking back, I'm like, well, was somebody advising him to smooth it over with Keisha? Because when he brought the flowers, it was a whole nother year. Like she said, she hasn't heard from him since last summer. So since you did this last summer, and they thinking it's a promposal, so I'm thinking it's probably February, March. Like, did somebody advise you, like, hey, maybe you should smooth it over? You about to make an announcement. You don't want this to blow up. I do feel like he does genuinely care for Keisha on some level. But I feel like the extra gestures, I feel like it was somebody advising him to do that. Because if you made that mistake, if not immediately, within weeks, you'll be doing the apology tour. But you waited several months. Now
I ain't buying it. No.
Like, I don't like that. I don't know. You waited.
I ain't buying it. He cared nothing about her. No, I ain't buying it. No.
Now let me ask you this, pretty girl. Since you said that, with this whole thing, I felt like the way Christian could have handled that, even if he, boys and their egos and their immaturity and stuff like that. For me, I might have showed it from my phone where I knew that it remained safe. But like for some bragging rights or something like that. But sharing, absolutely not.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying he was right.
No, he shared it around to all his friends, and then they shared it, and it just went on and on and on. So,
well, from his perspective, he shared it to one person who shared it to another person,
and then that's how
we don't know it's true or not. I'm just saying they both did dumb moves. I'm holding him more accountable for sharing it outside of, because she shared herself and him. That's different than you sharing it to a whole nother person who wasn't even involved. I'm definitely holding him accountable, but she's holding herself accountable because she knew, she was doing too much. Like, girl, like, one, you took the video, like the logistics of that. I'm not even trying to figure out what you had it propped up, like what was going on. And then I'm just like, but it all goes into the lack of self-esteem, trying to be seen, being invisible, being the only Black girl in a lot of spaces. So I get how she got there, but it's just effed up all around. But I'm definitely not shying away from Justin being completely wrong. Like, I agree with it.
Christian.
I mean, sorry, Christian.
Christian, yeah. Yeah, Justin's a good one. Yeah, it's Christian. I ain't giving him no pass at all. No, he didn't have to show it to none of his friends or whoever it was, Yeah, so he knew where he was going. He was going around bragging because that's what happens. They go around and brag, and then it's the girl who got to take the fall. And he getting the pat on the back, like high five, chest bumping, and all that kind of stuff. And she's the one, and then that's why she telling her mother, no, don't call the Johnny Cochran firm. Don't get the lawyer involved. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll look bad on her in the end. He's going to still go off to college, and ain't nothing going to happen to him. Right. Ain't nothing going to happen to him. Yeah. And she would look like the pariah and everything. Oh, you trying to take down the Black man and trying to take down the basketball player? It would have been far worse for her.
Exactly. And I thought it was nice that she said she doesn't want to be known as that girl. I want to be known for being a scholar, being an athlete, going to Howard, getting into Howard, doing my thing, like overcoming the situation. I don't want to be referred to that because, I mean, if you keep on stoking it or you keep on kind of things kind of die down, yeah, they still kind of, looking, being looky-loos and all this other stuff, talking, whispering and stuff like that. But that's to be expected. But doing the other thing, like pressing charges and doing all
it would follow her to college. It probably some kind of way follow her to college.
That's what she was trying to avoid.
She just wanted to forget about it and move on. That was a dumb thing we did. I just want to forget about it and move on. So, but I understand the mother too. You know what I'm saying? Because the mother is like, she just found this information out, so she had time to process it. She had like months, like everybody else did. Everybody else had a whole year or however long it's been to process this thing. But no, now the mother, so she's just angry.
Right. Right. So, Inga, you want to get this scene? You want to talk about this scene? Start it out, explain it, or I can get Pretty Girl do it.
Let's see, what was they doing up here when they was hugging?
She went to he went to go pick her up from school.
Yeah.
And she wanted to go. She said she's running away from her mom's house. She's gonna stay with her cousin.
Oh, that's right. Go stay with the cousin. Yeah, she did that for a hot minute, but you know how they staying on somebody's couch, and the cousin got kids, and it just she probably needed just a couple of days break
just
from
a
mother.
break,
just to get some space.
Yeah, because her mom still has to process, and she has to process now because she has to deal with the consequence of her actions, and it's not good. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
You know. So even they went to the shop where the cousin works at, and she braids her hair and stuff like that. And Justin is working on his college essay application, and she gave him some pointers, and he's talking about his ADHD being his superpower. She told him how to structure it. I thought that was like A-okay. Then next thing you know, the dude next door started playing some beats. Of course, beats.
Rodney.
You know, Justin, he loves it. He's like, what's going on here? So then the lady said, tell him to turn that mess down. I ain't paying all this rent for all that noise or whatever. And I'm like, oh, this could go left. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, because you'll never know. Because even when I looked at Rodney, I was just like, yo, I don't know. I don't know if this is the move.
Y'all know who he is from BMF, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you don't know some gangster dude or whatever it is, they all in South Central, so you don't know what's going on. Yeah, so
wearing a lot of blue, and I'm like, oh Lord.
Yeah, I saw that too. I noticed that too.
Exactly. But baby, when I tell you the way Justin handled that, even if you was somewhat of a aggressive guy or dude or whatever, the way he handled it, the way he came, he was like, I know it's wrong to come tell a black man to turn his music down, but also I can't sit up here and disrespect a bevy of black women. So I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. And look at that face. How can you say no to that face?
His daddy will be proud.
Absolutely. Pretty girl, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I love it. I guess it's the TV trauma we go to. It's just, I'm like, oh Lord, he gonna get stomped out. Jesus, he gonna get turned out. I don't know what was gonna happen. Because I'm like, y'all already know, y'all questioning, his street cred, because she was asking, you've been this far down the I-10 before? Read the room a little bit. You have a rapport with the guy. Let you go ahead and tell him, but he was the guy in the room and she was busy. So I'm like, okay. But I love the way he handled himself. You can tell he has a lot of emotional intelligence. He can read a room well. And that's also, I think it calls back to what he's writing about, his ADHD being a superpower. He's able to read context clues and body language. He does that a lot in this show. It's not all about verbals. He's able to really think beyond, just conversation. He can really assess situations well. And that came into play, with the situation with the music.
Yeah. Tamika?
Yeah, first of all, I was the runaway queen. I used to leave and go to my auntie house in a minute. So, and I told her when she said, no, I'm not going to grandpa's house because he's going to send me back to my mama house. I'm going over here to my cousin and I'm going to let her braid my hair first. She was doing her self-care, okay, getting a little renewal. And I didn't like how he handled himself going upstairs because I got nervous too. I was thinking dude might have some affiliations, but then I felt like they probably was going to, lock in with the music because we know Justin does his music too. So, and,
Exactly.
He definitely was able to read the room.
Right. Inga Muti, y'all got something to say on it?
I like how they handled this situation and how Justin was able to talk to the guy. I thought he handled himself very well.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. like I said, look at that face. How you gonna say no to that face? And y'all know I already touched on this earlier, y'all, because not only honestly, when Pretty Girl said that it could have been a missed opportunity um for her to be, giving Keisha some support, I think she did better by staying on a parental level with this and supporting the mom. Yeah, she could have kind of gone over and above, but I think her keeping the communication with the mother is a little bit more respectful. Like, you already, she, when she told the story, she said that, Justin's mom made me do this, but I wanted you to hear it from me. So, I don't know. I think she handled it well. And I love that she said, forgive me if I overstep. If I was the mom, I wanted to know about my child. And
Yes.
so, and offer therapy, phone number for therapy, resource for therapy to look for the tools and how to try to navigate this situation. So I love it. Loved
I
it.
feel like she did that though, because she talked about herself, like what I do, and it's been a very it's been helpful to me. So I was glad that she explained it that way, not like this is
like
something
blaming, like
yeah.
me.
Yeah, because it started out a little like, awkward, but
Yeah.
then she was able to, I think, have her get more relaxed when she talked about herself, because that even made her chuckle. And then to say, I'm in therapy too, because she was like, oh no, I'm not just trying to say you need therapy. Like, I'm practicing what I'm preaching. I'll do it as well. So I like that.
And she recognized her parenting style. She was like, child, I have a panic attack if XYZ happens. So I definitely understand that. Pretty girl.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a great conversation, but it also seemed like it was kind of a mistake. Like, I think she wasn't getting in contact. I don't know, like the way she, like, the girl picked up Shelly picked up on. She was like, Shelly, like, I don't know, it was weird. Like, I don't know if she was looking for Justin, but she was just texting Justin, and I don't know, it just seemed like, I don't know, it wasn't. I don't know, it was weird. But
it's just an awkward conversation to have.
Yeah, but she handled it very well. I do love that. She was being very relatable, not judging her, just showing like, hey, I'm an imperfect parent too. Like, we in this together. And Shelly really needed that. I don't really think she has another parent as a sounding board. She's kind of in this world alone in terms of her daughter being in these spaces. Yes, her daughter's now in a private school that's predominantly Black, but it was just good for them to really connect on that level. And Shelly, I mean, it was a little awkward, but she took it well. They really both did a commendable job, just hearing each other out and communicating. I really loved it.
Yeah. Inga?
Yeah, man, I agree with what everybody's saying. I don't have anything different to say. Yeah, I thought it was gonna. I didn't know how Shelly was gonna take it at first. I thought she was gonna go left, but
yeah. When people,
yeah, this
when
process
you
and
talk
everything.
about parenting and you making mistakes, sometimes criticisms or something that has kind of like been spotlighted, it stings you. You kind of you can get a little defensive. Things can go left. So I definitely love the way they try to walk through that awkwardness, and hopefully there's no defensiveness. I want to be here to support you. I think Dawn was using all the right words. Well, she started out kind of fumbling a little bit. She was saying something about therapy is great, and then so she had to read my family therapy is great. Then I'm the one.
Because when you tell people, particularly Black folk too, about therapy, they think, "What you talking about? I ain't crazy. I don't need no therapy," and they get defensive, and voice might get the raising, or So she had to try to say it in a way that Shelly will understand. So
yeah. Definitely. I love the conversation. It was fantastic. Tamika, did you say your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Good. I thought you did. And child, when I tell you the growing pains of teenagers and their moms, the power struggle that is going on, they're trying to get their independence versus you trying to guide and steer them in the right direction. It's jarring. It's jarring. And like Brillo said last week, Brillo said Dawn got to be careful with him because when a child starts to feel like like sometimes they'll just try to just nowadays they just go no contact, but you can actually end up the villain in their story, and so that's what Brillo was trying to say. He was like she got to kind of loosen up a little bit because you don't want to lose them. So
she might need to fall back and let the father handle a little bit more stuff.
Yeah,
because he can talk better to Justin than she can.
Yeah, they keep clashing.
Yeah, they definitely do. Definitely do. Pretty girl.
Yeah, I think it's especially with the dynamic. I think it may be a situation where even though it seems like I think I don't want to assume, but the mom may be in finance or it seems like she's home a little more because the father, he has a restaurant. He's probably at the house a lot more, still involved, but she just had more interaction with Justin on some
right.
Yeah, but the father got
always there.
You know how a restaurant is, you there all day.
I think he got more than one restaurant too. I think
he got a chain of them.
He got a chain of restaurant, yeah.
So that's demanding in itself. So, unfortunately she probably has a little more, just conversations with Justin, but she's trying her best. But I do appreciate the balance. It couldn't have been just this dynamic wouldn't work with her necessarily being a single parent. Eric is kind of needed because they're touching on her trauma. She's mentioning she's been through therapy, but they're not really exposing it too much. Maybe in season 2 we'll get to it, but she obviously has her own issues that she's trying to work through. And really probably just even being a parent, but it may be some other things going on that I do appreciate. So I can't even imagine y'all been through the teenage son or going through the teenage son stuff. So I'm a little nervous.
Please, girl, strap on your seatbelt, baby.
Yep.
Strap it on. But you got a good friend in Brillo. He talks good sense into the boys. He's talked to my son plenty of times, and if I need him, I do call him. Okay.
Good to know.
Yes. Okay, so pretty girl, you want to go ahead and get this scene popping?
Yeah, it looked like Shelly came right after she got off work in the middle of the night to talk to Keisha. And she's explaining how she, took Dawn's advice about therapy. And she acted immediately. That same shift, she was over there talking to a therapist, had a consultation, and already she's learning more already after one consultation. I'm like, how long was this consultation, girl? But it was it was good. It seems like it's affordable. I would have liked them to touch on the fact that possibly getting Keisha into therapy. They didn't really touch on that. They were just kind of focusing on Shelly, but maybe it's a process, But I do like the fact that it was kind of able to get on one accord, and I really appreciated this conversation. She needed some time to cool. You know how you just need to separate for a minute to
get
out my face.
Right.
I don't want to touch you, but I'm mad at you right now.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely. Inga.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, no, I'm glad she talked to her about that. I'm glad by this time they both were, everybody was calm, and she was able to, they have a conversation without voices being raised. So yeah, I know that time I got to walk away. We got to not talk for a little bit, go our separate corners, and then we can have a conversation. So
absolutely. Tamika.
Yeah, I like this conversation. Y'all know one time I ran away, but I still had to make it to choir rehearsal, child. Okay, so I still went to the church. And my mother came in the church. I was like, oh Lord. Okay, and she was waiting in the back to have a conversation with me. So this made me think about that. But I like that she came and sat down and talked to her. We can't stay away from each other forever, but sometimes you do need that break. And I agree. I would have actually liked them to also say, like, maybe we're gonna do therapy for Shelly, we're gonna do therapy for Keisha, and we're gonna do family therapy, both of us together, girl. We can never have too much therapy. You know, I'm all for the therapy, but I just love that she's showing that she's trying to make an attempt. And you know, at the end of the day, she just wanna understand her daughter and also let her daughter understand that I'm here for you. You my baby. You know.
Yeah. And notice she did say in this particular thing, she said that she noticed that she did not curate a safe space for her to have that conversation with her. So I was like, I love that realization. And she was like, oh yeah, therapy, that's what you're doing. Okay.
Right.
And I know Keisha was glad to get up out of the cousin house with the crying baby up in there.
Right. Yeah. Moochie? Are you good? All right, y'all. We are almost done, y'all. This is the last slide. And he finishes his college application. She wants to proofread it, of course, because you know we got the helicopter mom syndrome going on over here. So she wants to proofread it. She was like, another set of eyes will never hurt no, which is true, which is absolutely true. And he's just trying to rush through it. He worked on it. He really did work on it. He Keisha probably proofread it, and that's probably why he probably got in, because we know Keisha is Urkel, right? So, so the way she even told him how to structure it, start off with this, lead with the positive, sandwich the negative, and then, you know, boom, boom, boom. I was like, okay. So, but yeah, so I think he's kind of like a little resentful. I think he's trying to punish her. Is he trying to punish her or something?
No, I took it like
one. I'm doing it for you. This is not for me. You want me to go to Northwestern for you. It's not for me. So here, just sign the thing so I can go on and do something else, you know. And like you said, when am I ever going to be good enough? You know.
Yeah.
Because, you know, no matter what I do, you got to complain.
Right. Go ahead, Tamika. I know y'all was going at the
same.
Oh
no, yeah, I agree. I think it's like a part of him is frustrated. He feels like he's trying to do everything that his mother wants him to do. And even though that may not be her intention, I think for him, he feels like you never happy, you never satisfied. Like, I did the paper, I put in the work. And I think that Keisha, when she gave him those pointers, those was great pointers. And I'm pretty sure he probably did go over it with her, and he feels like he did a good enough job, and he just wants her to kind of take his word for it and believe in him. I think he already doesn't fully think she believes in him from that time when she told him, you know, give it up, turn it loose, this ain't for you. And he was telling her, I believe in myself even if you don't. So I just think it's like, it's still miscommunication all around, you know. She doesn't mean for it to be that way. She's just trying to make sure that it's a good job, and it doesn't hurt to have somebody else look it over too. But for him, it's like, damn, lady, I did it, and you still bitch.
That's a little bit darn engine on my nerves
on the schedule and keep them with the right track. And, you know, I got you on this path. I got these plans for you, so that way you're gonna have a good life. And she's just focused on that, not knowing if he's happy or not with it.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of like she has tunnel vision on my nerve.
Tunnel vision. Yeah. Pretty girl, your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, one, she knows he's kind of hyper fixated on Keisha. You know what I'm saying? Like, she knows, like, she probably had this plan, laser focus, and now he in love, so it's throwing a monkey wrench into her plans. And she was right. She's like, you just trying to get back to her on some level, yes, but at the same time, he was up all night working on that paper. Like, before Keisha's cousin turned off the phone, he was still typing, you know, working hard. But she's probably not used to that. She's not used to Keisha helping him necessarily. He used to, you know, he was struggling in the one of the first scenes of the show. He was struggling with one paragraph. So I could see, and she's been through this process before as a college, you know, graduate. So yeah, I'm not mad at her wanting to view it over. Like, you know, this is important, you know, a situation that we have going on. But I think this is also all parenting is imperfect in terms of dynamics, because he's kind of lost. He really kind of don't know what he wants. So, you know, but she's telling him what he wants. But it's kind of that weird thing. He's kind of lost in the sauce a little bit. He wants to be in the NBA, but, you know, does he wants music. you know, how do you fit that in? He doesn't want to go to Northwestern. He's kind of, you know, kind of like an average kid. A lot of kids don't know what they want to do, which is versus Keisha. She knows exactly what she wants to do, where she wants to go. So it's stressful for everybody. So I'm really not mad at either person in this situation.
Right. Gotcha.
I just wish Mom would just like stop trying to push Northwestern on him. You know, it's not what he wants. And he don't feel comfortable enough to talk to his mother to tell, you know, to tell his mother that.
Yeah, it mirrors Keisha's situation in a sense, in terms of like his education is kind of how Keisha's feeling about her sexual experience. You know, it's kind of, you know, you don't feel like you have a safe space on some level.
Right. Moochie has something to say?
No, I'm just listening, enjoying the conversation.
Yes, you guys. If you guys are enjoying the conversation, because we are coming to a close, we're getting ready to wrap this thing right on up. We love, if you didn't get the gist of it, we love the episodes. Both of the episodes were really good, really needed conversations, very rooted in reality, very, very much you can see. You can have empathy for everyone's side. Like no one feels like they're unheard in this storytelling. Like you get all perspectives. And I can't say enough about the show. Love the show. And so we're gonna go over and talk to the ladies, and we're gonna be finding out what's going on everybody's channel. And so I'm gonna go ahead and put the spotlight on your girl, Moochie the Hammer.
Okay. Make sure y'all tune in. I'm gonna do BMF, the first reaction this Thursday. Well, actually Friday. And we're gonna be talking about The Chi. What else? What else we got going on? And
Godfather Harlem.
Godfather Harlem. We just did that last night. It's gonna be Ink back. You know, Ink is in the captain of that ship. But you know, I just helped out this week and did that. And I'm trying to get back in the groove of making videos. So keep y'all notifications on and holler at your girl.
Hell. Ginger Snaps. What you got?
I got BMF. I'll do my recap on Sunday. You know, since Raising Canaan is gone, I'll replace the BMF, you know, with that. And around what time I usually do it? Like 4:30 on Sunday. So that'll be my regular every Sunday thing. And then every Tuesday, 9:15, Godfather Harlem. And then I might throw something else in between if I have time, you know.
Okay. Sounds good. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the channel and give her a like, comment, share, all the things. Okay, Tamika, what you got, girlie?
A child, I'm trying to get back into the group of things too, y'all. I don't know, but I know I'll be with the ladies to talk about BMF, Godfather Harlem, The Chi, and I might do Self-Care Saturday and what you should be watching. I already got a whole list of things. We got a lot of stuff coming out for June. And possibly gonna talk about Divorce Sisters and Straw, you know. So just keep your notifications on, stay tuned. And I enjoyed having this conversation with you guys as usual about forever.
Absolutely. And last but definitely not least, Pretty Girl loves trap content. Tell them what's going on in the trap church.
Well, I'm just singing in the background. I'm taking a break. I mean, I'm not raising Canaan, but I'm raising the family. So that's kind of, you know, taking a time, you know, time consuming, and I'm helping a friend with wedding planning. So it's a lot going on in the background. BMF is pending. I'm gonna see how this first episode goes, child, because my nerves be bad. Okay. So we'll see how that goes. Most likely, if I do review it, it won't be a review this Sunday, probably next Sunday. And we're trying to focus on some vlogs on my other channel, Channeling Chanel, where that's more of a lifestyle focused channel. But that's about it right now.
Okay. All right, y'all. So, of course, y'all, make sure you are subscribed to every person on this panel. These are all my girls. And we will see you next week for the end of the show, 7 and 8, y'all. Oh, it's coming to an end. I'm sad.
Yeah, I wish we had more.
Yeah, I'm ready for season 2.
Yes. Thank y'all for coming.
I am definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah, y'all. So that is it for us. We are going to see you next week, Wednesday. We may have Brillo, we may not, but we'll see you next week, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And till next time, bye.